Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. I don't know why. I do know why. I've just introduced. Let me explain first. When you buy a brand new guitar, it might be factory setup, it might be shop setup, but it is not set up to how you want it. So I've decided to introduce a new setup rate only for brand new guitars, and what it is it's going to be a reduced rate, lower than my regular rates for a setup, because setting up a guitar that's been bought and played and used, blah 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 blah, you want it setting up, you're paying for a service and you're paying to get your guitar superbly playable, and that's pretty much the same thing that I'm offering on a brand new bought guitar. But the thing is, when you've just bought a guitar, why should you go and spend X amount of pounds on getting it set up again, when really by rights it ought to come set up pretty well out of the box? And in quite a lot of cases they are, but in most cases they're not, because with a factory setup, especially with a factory setup, everything's based on an average, basically just to make your guitar playable but not ultimately playable, or to the best playable state it can be in. And when you buy a new guitar, there's going to be a one-time setup you need to get done, where you need your guitar set up to how you want it to play. So some might want a straighter neck, some might want more relief in the neck, some might want a high action or a low action or whatever. But you can guarantee with this, it's coming. The action's high, I can tell you that. My nut slots will probably cut a bit high, but I'm going to leave that because it's a plastic nut. I don't want to start cutting into plastic nuts because it's so easy to cut too low. You can guarantee the bridge is going to be a bit too high, the intonation's going to be not quite right. I'm going to show you this guitar because I've never ever seen one of these before. It's made by Eastwood Guitars. And I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to show it you. Now the guy who owns it did tell me what it was, but I can't remember. Look at that. It's like a Gibson control configuration, but it's got like a Fender amalgamation of Fender body shapes. It's got, I believe it's got a Fender neck scale, but a Gibson-type neck. I personally think it's ugly, but someone else might think it's beautiful. Looking on the back side, you've got a glued in neck, which is great. I know it needs a setup, so it's come in for a setup. So the basic setup on this is going to be, I'm going to charge, where it's normally £40, I'm now doing this at 30 quid. So anyone that has a brand new guitar that needs a setup, a bit of tweaking here and there, you bring it to me with a recent receipt proving you've bought it new. I will do your reduced rate setup starting at £30 for a basic setup. And for your £30 basic setup, you're going to get your neck level straightened, you're going to get your nut cut correctly, you're going to get your bridge action set, I'm going to do the intonation, then I'm going to check your electrics, and I'm going to check your neck and your frets. Now I'm not going to work on your frets, that's going to be obviously extra, because I do 3 levels of setup. I do a basic, I do an intermediate, and I do an advanced or complete. And your fretwork is only done on a complete one, because doing fretwork is quite advanced, it's time consuming, and you're going to get charged more for it. So what we're going to do is, but basically what I'm going to do is, if you come in and you've got a brand new guitar and your frets aren't level, you're going to have to pay a little bit more, but you're still going to pay less than you would do normally if it wasn't a new guitar. So your reduced rates, you're always going to get £10 knocked off, but you've got to prove the guitar's new, you've got to show me the receipt. So that's it, I'm going to be cracking on with this. Now I can't play this because it's a left-handed guitar. A couple of things I can see with it. The tremolo system, I don't know how good they are, I've got no idea. Doesn't look particularly brilliant, but why would it be bad? I can see that the bridge in that, this is like a Rickenbacker type of bridge and saddles here, with the bolt through them and nuts on that end. I can tell straight away it's going to be made of some sort of tin pot metal, because the posts underneath you can taste some tin pot alloy. But that said, it's got rollers on the top here, very Rickenbacker like. It's got rollers, and those rollers will be steel, so even though this is a tin pot metal, the rollers will actually work really, really well. I can see there's some gaps in some frets here between the fret and the fretboard right at this end. Let's try and get it up here and show you without this one here. Oops, I hit the thing. This one here, there's a gap underneath that. I don't know if you can see it from there. But that's the thing with cheaper guitars. These are obviously going to be made in China. They're going to be banged out willy-nilly, and some of them pass quality control. So anyway, if this needs fretwork, it's going to be a little bit extra. What I'm going to do is, what the owners asked me to do, is also put some 10s on there. Now I used to use rotor sound strings, but because I've been snapping a few, I've actually changed direction a bit. and I've gone and I'm now buying. I don't stock strings as a rule, but I've always got 10s in. I buy these in sets of 10 D'Adderios. They are legit. There's a lot of these copies going around, but I buy these from a legitimate source, from a proper guitar shop or a music shop. So I know they're absolutely fine, so I'm going to do them. And I can do these at £5 a set, which you can buy a set of these, going to cost you £7 if you buy one set, so you're laughing. So this is going to have a basic setup and a set of strings, £35, job done, all in. So you're getting a deal there. So like I say, if you've got a brand new guitar, if you've got the receipt and you want its first setup doing, I'll do it at a reduced rate starting at £30. So get in on it. Check me out at facebook.com/NGONESEVEN, which is facebook.com NG17. I've got websites at fretfriend.net and christian-guitars.com. Check my reviews on Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel. You can get to my YouTube channel via Facebook. So facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I'm going to crack on with this guitar this morning because I've got other stuff to be going on this afternoon. So I'm going to crack on with this morning. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the setup. I'm not going to film anything. If I get to the frets and if there's any on level, any frets are high, whatever, then I'll also film that just to show the owner. But I'm going to come back with an update in about, I don't know, hour and a half, something like that. So stay tuned and I will be back shortly. Right, back. Not quite the hour and a half away that I suggested. We're actually only about 10 minutes. I've straightened the neck using, I've got new truss rod tools here, made by Nielsen, so we're guaranteed for life. 4mm one, so I've altered the truss rod, straightened the neck, made sure it's straight with the notched straight edge. It's actually a Fender scale, 25.5. Already gone across with a fret rocker and discovered that 3 frets are high. So I'm going to get in touch with the owner and see if he wants them doing. I mean, I could leave them, make the guitar playable, but we're going to want sorting out in the future anyway. I'm going to ask the owner if he wants them sorting out. Normally I charge £5 per fret, or all frets are covered in a complete setup. But I'm going to suggest, because there's only 3 of them, I'm going to charge him a tenner for all 3. So if he wants to pay an extra tenner, I'll sort them out for him. He's going to say yeah, because they need doing. And he's not going to get it as cheap as that again. I'm going to do that. But also another bugbear, I took off the truss rod cover. Obviously to get to the truss rod, which is all fine and dandy. But a thing on these cheap Chinese guitars, and I don't know why they do it, but they use screws. I can say, I don't know what they're made of, but there's some really cheap crap alloy. It's like they're made of pewter. I turned the screwdriver in one, it just knackered, chewed it all up. Won't even gain any hammer, that one. Absolute crap. Why do companies like Eastwood and Cord and whoever, whatever, insist on using these shit Chinese companies? Pardon my French. But why don't they go and oversee what kind of steel we're using in these screws? I know we're penny pinching and we're saving money, but it's just wrong. Use something that ain't going to chew up as soon as you put a flipping screwdriver on it. I've got to find a replacement for that now, and that is annoying for a brand new guitar. You see, I stay away from cheap brands, and I stay away for that reason. I'd rather go and buy good second-hand guitars. Let me tell you now, I've got 3. I have 3 used guitars over there. I've got PVEXP, made in Korea, brilliant. I've got a Kramer, again made in Japan, in 1982-1983, absolutely brilliant. And I've got a, I forgot, I've got my Gibson. I've got my Gibson Les Paul Studio, made in America, absolutely brilliant. I don't buy cheap guitars. I don't see the point, seriously. Because what you're saving in money, to put right, you're going to have to spend money on anyway. I guarantee this is likely going to want, I myself, if I'd never buy out like this, but if I did, I'd be changing the hardware, the tuners, the bridge, the electrics, the pots, the pickups. And that you're already 300 quid in there. You might as well go and buy yourself a good used guitar. That's just my personal preference. I'm not slagging off this guitar, but I guarantee that nut is made of plastic. That's going to need changing as well. I'm not touching that nut. I normally cut a nut on a guitar, included in my setup, but I ain't touching that because it's plastic, and I know for a fact as soon as I put a blade on there, the cutter, it's going to slice through it like it's a piece of butter. I'm leaving that as is. So just a minor bugbear there. I don't get why they use cheap metal screws. I'll stick a replacement in there. If that's going to come out my own pocket, you see. and you shouldn't have to do it. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to crack on now. I could do the work. I'm going to get in touch with the owner, see what he says about doing the frets. And what I'll do is I'll get the strings off. I'll set the intonation and things right now, set the action and everything, get that where it needs to be. I'll get in touch with the owner. Before I do go, hang on, because I haven't shown. I might as well show where we're rocking. So I'm going to be quiet. And let's go across these. Just make sure we're level, we're straight. I know we are because I've checked it. Right, we're absolutely flat there. And let's check the frets. Level. Fret 3 rocking. 4 okay. 5 is rocking. 6 is okay. 7's rocking, there's 3. 8, 9, 10, 11, all okay. 12 okay. 13 okay. 14 okay. 15 okay. 16 okay. 17 okay. 18 rocking. 19 okay. 20 okay. 21 okay. 19, 20 okay. Well, whatever. So we've got 4 rocking frets. I'm going to get in touch with the owner, see if he wants me to sort them out. I imagine he would. I don't see there's any reason why you wouldn't want them sorting out. You know. And I'm going to take it. Where's that camera? Right, too low. I'm going to get in touch with him and take it from there. Like I said, I'll do the intonation and stuff, but I'll put this on hold until I've heard back from the owner. So go and see what's what. I'll come back again with an update. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to video the work. The work you've all seen before, but I'll have a talk with the owner. If it's 4 frets want doing, I'll charge him another 12.5 quid for that, I think. Yeah, that's a pretty fair price. I'll say a tenner just to get them done, get it out of the way, just to show, because this is the first one for the reduced rate. I'll do this at a special reduced rate. So I'll back shortly, let you know how I got on. Well, this is going really well. Just tried to do the intonation's actually done on the guitar, it's fine, but I plugged in my tuner, getting nothing out of it, so I thought I'd plug it into an amp. Plugged it into an amp, nothing, no sound on any configuration. So I'm going to turn on my amp. There you go. Plug it in. Ah, we've got it now. Ah, very odd. So I'd imagine that input jack's got a bit don't know what it does. Maybe that splits the pickups. Don't know. Right, okay, that's good. We have got sound. I didn't think we had sound at first. Obviously, it's something to do with the configuration of these buttons. It's got 3 switches and an extra switch there. So, all good. Back with an update later. So, I had a little problem with the electrics. There was no sound coming out at all, no matter what I tried. And the input jack's loose, so I'm hoping it's not broken wire. I think it's just the input jack loose. The reason I'm documenting every single thing on this guitar is it's brand new. I've just been in touch with the owner. He has not touched anything. He bought it straight to me when he got it, so he's going to get in touch with the shop he bought it from and see if we're going to compensate him in any way. I'm just going to show where we are with this. I can zoom in just a little, and this is where we are. And look at that, that's bowl loose. So I'm going to have to go in there, take the scratch plates off, and I'm going in there, get it tightened up, check the wiring while I'm there. So that's it, it's exactly where I am. Like I say, I want everything documented on this. Like I do, I've documented everything anyway, so that's it. Again, I'll be back soon with an update. So we're going to change tack a little bit, because the owner of this guitar, Dave Sampson, is going to contact Eastwood Guitars. or wherever he bought this guitar from, shop he bought it from, and let them know the problems with it. I am actually going to document everything. So problems with it are screws on the truss rod cover chewed up as I removed them. For a couple of frets, there's a gap in a fret down at this end between the tang, well, between the bottom of the fret itself and the fingerboard, which I'm going to sort out. Now I've got there are 4 high frets which I'm going to actually level and re-crown. The input jack on the socket there is all loose. I'm going to sort that out. I'm going to take the scratch plate off, tighten that up. These are problems we didn't know about when he got the guitar. The setup's not so bad. The bridge wobbles, you always get bridge wobble with these cheap Chinese guitars. I'm going to show that in a minute. I'm going to turn the camera around, show the frets we're going to work on. I'm going to show where the bridge wobbles. The actual setup of the guitar itself wasn't that bad. The action, though it looked high, wasn't high. It would bang on to the recommended the string height over the 12th fret, which I've left it at. The nut is cut fine. The intonation was absolutely bang on. I intend to touch that. So, you know, I'm going to turn the camera around, put it on the guitar, and show what frets I'm going to be leveling. Let's just this bridge. They always wobble because they're not set brilliant. The tolerances, there's no tolerance on these things. Not like when you buy a Gibson or something. So that wobbles like a mother, a wobbly mother. I'm just going to get back down onto the neck area. As you can see, I've got the body all covered. I've got 4 frets to work on. I'm going to go again across with the fret rocker, just so you know. I hope you can hear that. Really high there. The rest of them seem okay. I've gone across all of the frets. The rest of them down this end seem okay. I've got the neck straight. I've got strings off. I've altered the truss rod again. These are all good up here. I think, was the one up here wobbling? It doesn't seem to be now. A lot of tarnishing on the frets. You get this with cheap fret wire. And here you see, that's rocking all the way across. Then you get this next fret here, that's rocking, and this one here in the middle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4 frets, but we've got 1, 2, because the middle area don't need touching, but you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've actually got 7 areas where we need to level. I'm going to basically get these frets taped up. You may as well sit here and watch while I'm doing this. I'm going to get these taped up because we don't want to be scabbing any of the areas or making any cuts in anywhere. Because I mean, possibly this could go back, but I imagine they're going to, I think Dave will be happy because I can fix it. He'll be happy with some money off, and who wouldn't be? You know, so if I can get his money back, especially the money he's going to be paying me. So there you go. Whether Eastwood Guitars are going to watch this video, I don't know. I don't pretty much care. This is not a video against Eastwood Guitars. This is basically highlighting what you get when you buy a cheap Chinese guitar. You know, it's not against Eastwood. It's against. There are many companies out there buying cheap guitars. And the thing is, when you buy a cheap guitar, you've got to expect that not everything's going to be as good as it will be if you buy an expensive guitar. They do cut corners, and you must understand this when you buy it. And if, for instance, I would actually expect on a cheap guitar like this, I'd expect the pickups to be crap, I'd expect the bridge to wobble, and I'd expect the frets not to be bang on. Because I even work on heritage guitars that come straight from Kalamazoo and the frets aren't bang on. So there you go, I've got the 4 frets I'm working on all taped up. I'm going to check with my rocker again, just to make sure we're doing the right thing. Yeah, wobbling, wobbling, wobbling. Not so bad there. Wobbling there. And up this end, well, I can't really check that one, even though I've got tape on there. I know that needs working on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go across with flat file, number 3 cut, blah blah blah. I'm just going to take the tops off. I'm going to re-crown with one. I'm going to use my hand file when I find it. Can't find it at the moment. It's knocking about somewhere. It's a 3-edge file like this, but it's, oh, here it is. That's from Crimson Guitars. I'm going to do the crown with that. I'll finish the crown with a proper crowning file. Then I'll go across with my, my diamond file when I find it. Here's my diamond file. This sits in its case all the time. Diamond cut there. So I'll finish off with that one. Again, a crowning file. So I'm going to get these 1, 2, 3, 4 frets done. And then we'll look at getting the guitar back together, getting the new strings on it and getting it all set up. I'm going to get the scratch plate off actually when I've done this. I'm going to crack on with these. To get to where we should be. I think we're about right there. I'm going to crack on with these. Oh, crikey. I'm going to crack on with these frets. Then I'm going to get the scratch plate off. Have a look underneath. See if the electric's all right. I imagine they're going to be all right. Probably won't even show that on the video. Tighten up the input jack, and I'll come back again later. Let you know how it all went. Back soon. So back again with this guitar. I'm going to put the camera straight on it. Fret level went really well, really easy. Let's whiz you back down here. As you can see, these have been. I've not only polished these frets I've leveled, I've gone and polished the whole lot, so that's more expense on top, but because they needed doing. Thing is, these brand new, these cheap fretted guitars, they tarnish really easy. So I've chucked that in. Now let's move on to the, all the frets are level now. I can go across with the rocker, I could show you. Not really any point, but you know, I will anyway. No rock on any of these frets. Absolutely bang on now. Sort them 4 frets out. Everything's highly polished now. Polished all the other frets as well. Everything's in tip-top condition. So I went then and moved on to the electrics. And quite a surprise under the bonnet here, so to speak, because normally you'd expect when you get something cheap and Chinese, you're normally going to get your pots are going to be normally mini pots, and they're not going to be much cop normally at cheap old Chinese alphas or something like that. But lo and behold, I took this apart, had a look. Pots are actually full size, and it says on them made in Korea, which is quite a surprise. And with full size pots, pretty pleased about that. The wiring job is, it's a wiring job. It's cheap wire, cheap capacitors, but mylar type capacitors there. Really quite impressed with that. This switch here, I imagine this will be a coil split switch here. Because it's like a push-pull type, but it's not, it's just a switch. So I think that'll just split each coil. Quite impressive underneath. All I've done was, we were getting a sound, this was loose, I've tightened it up, and that's it. It's all ready now to go back on the guitar. I'm going to wipe away all the dust there. Inside, the cavities inside and everything are pretty decent. There's even lacquer on the inside there. Bit of willy-nilly writing when it comes to these pickup edges. You know, it's been done by hand, which looks a bit messy, but you know, not terrible under there. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on. I'll try. Get all the wires where they need to be. Hopefully. Get the wires in there. Get in there. Let's not force anything in. Let's make it sure everything goes in. Oh, it should go in. Wires are normally holding you up in these sort of positions. There you go, we're all in there. We're all in, we're all happy. I think we've got wires in everywhere. Everything's sat where it needs to be. That's it, we're all in. 15 screws to put back in there, so that's it. So we're all good. The wiring's quite impressive into there. I was impressed by the pots, seeing them in full size. Not saying they're any good, but I'm not saying they're bad. So all it remains to be done now with this guitar is I need to put it back together, get some strings on it, and get it tuned in, and that will be it. So the guitar is going to be fine. Like I said, the bridge is loose. Once we've got it tuned in and set right, it'll be bang on, but nah, you get this. And this is not against Eastwood guitars, this is against all builders of cheap guitars. You know, it's how they come, it's how they work. So, end of the day, you know, it's not against Eastwood guitars, like I say. It's just the nature of it. And I don't blame the Chinese factories, because end of the day, if they're using cheap tin pot screws, up at their end, right, it's because they've been told to. They're working under instruction. So don't go blaming the Chinese, because everything's made in China. I buy a load of Chinese stuff, got nothing against it. If this has got cheap parts, cheap metal, cheap tin pot metal and whatever, cheap screws, blah blah blah, it's because that's been okayed by whoever has got their name on the headstock. So don't blame the Chinese, don't blame anyone, don't worry about it. You're buying a cheap guitar, you know what you're buying, what you're expecting from a cheap guitar. You know, if you want the best of the best, if you want a really good guitar, do what I did. Go and buy a Gibson or go and buy a PV or something like that. You know, if you want the best, pay for the best. So that's it. All this is going to get now, it's going to get some new strings on, it's going to get the set up, and it'll all be ready to collect sometime this afternoon. I don't know what time it is. What time is it? It's 11:30 now. Probably have this all tuned in by 12:15. It'll all be done. I can blob on what I've got to do, what other jobs I've got to do. So again, till I come back, that's it. See you soon. Right, we're all done with this guitar. I've stuck some brand new Diagnosing on there. I just need to snip. Actually, I just need to snip off these edges. Bear with, and put the trusswood cover on, which I haven't done. I thought I'd done the guitar. I come in for blah blah blah. Oh, that's it. Last bits of the wire off there. Right, let's have a look. Right, screwdriver. Let's get a long one. Got to put trusswood cover on. So I'm going to show. It's all whiz down here. There's the guitar all done. Blah 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 blah. Trusswood cover. Here we are. It's all set up nice. I've left the neck straighter than it was originally. Only with a little bit of relief in there. I've actually 1.75mm above the 12th fret, bottom of the string, 1.5mm this end. Did I just pick a screwdriver out? What have I done with it? I can lose a screwdriver in 4 seconds. Like that, there you go. Now one of these screws is a bit knackered. I've already had my moan about cheap tin pot screws. Let's see if I can get it to bite. That looks to be the one. Might be alright with a screwdriver, slightly better screwdriver. See where we are. So let's explain what we've done with this. We're going to complete setup. Even though I'm charging for a basic one. The only thing I've not really done is I've not cut the knot. That screw's at it. That screw's really at it. I'm going to find a replacement for it. Brand new screw. This is why I'm against using, I don't like cheap guitars, not a fan. But cheap tin pot screws, really bad. I mean, come on, it's not even going to be steel, is it? It's some kind of shite alloy. I mean that. That's at it. That head's just at it there. I'm sure with a big fat screwdriver I could force her in, but look, it's not just spinning round. Absolute rubbish. So I'm going to look in my parts drawer, see if I can find one sort of similar. Look at it. Load of crap. Brand new guitar. I can find the right head to go on that. No, it's just spinning around. Even with good screwdrivers. So, without complaining, see if we can find some screws. Got some screws somewhere. There we go. Might have something that fits in here. What we got? There you go. That's perfect. But not a shitty piece of Chinese tin pot metal. There you go, bang on. So that's it. Let's whiz around there. So that's it, we're there, we're done. I've got probably screws back, maybe screwdrivers. And there is the guitar. Now, like I say, beautiful, plays fine. I could try and play a chord or two upside down. Let me get the strings right, obviously. The guitar itself is not that bad. I never played upside down before. There you go, quite easy. So there's the guitar, all upside down. I've got the Action 1.5mm top E. That's the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, 1.75 here. The neck's set up pretty straight. The Action's pretty regular, not too high, not too low. The guitar looks absolutely fine. There's a couple of imperfections in the finish which I've noticed. There's some scratches on it, but you always get scratches. You only got to breathe on these things and you get some really fine surface scratches, so I won't worry about it like that. Tiny little, not a ding, it's just a tiny scratch in the body there. The lacquer on these is so soft. But anyway, there it is, there's the guitar. It's set up, the Action's low, it plays nice, it's had a fret level, it's had a great rate. I'm obviously going to do an invoice for this because it's going to get in touch with the manufacturer, so if they give him some a little bit of a refund, that'd be really nice. But that's it, it's all done. Eastwood guitars, by all accounts, don't get me wrong, just because there's been a couple of problems with this guitar, I'm not saying Eastwood guitars are crap, because they're not. It's a really nice looking guitar. It's, like I say, it's got a set neck, it's solidly built. The electrics surprised me, really good, full size pots. The bridge is fine, the setup's fine, pickups, I don't know because I ain't had it plugged in. But that's it, everything works. One on the downside and one downer with these. Cheap truss rod cover screws, absolute garbage. So that's it, that's all wrapped up. I'm going to stick this on the end of all the other bits of video I've got. I'm going to make it all one long video. I've got to be blobbing on now, I'm a bit later on this. I've spent much more time on this than I wanted to. It's gone 1 o'clock now and I've got other work to do. So I'm going to crack on. It's the end of this project, whatever guitar it is, Eastwood guitars, Chinese, it's alright, you know. Till the next project, as always, be good to each other. I'll talk to you soon.